Hey, all, welcome to the ServiceMaster podcast. Today I have Lee Redfern from ServiceMaster Clean Contract Services, Leicester. How you doing, Lee? All right.
Very well, thanks. How are you?
Good, good. So just tell us a bit about your role and a bit about yourself, Lee.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so I've been with the company about 11 years this year. So started off as a supervisor, worked through to operations manager, and now I'm currently a general manager. So as you may or may not be aware, we were bought by yourselves at head office back in August last year. So we've integrated in with yourselves at Tigers Road. So obviously a few little changes, but generally we've carried on doing the same business as we've always done. We've been reasonably successful over the past few years. My role is to obviously it is now anyway, to try and look after everybody in the team. We've got a fantastic team. We right through from admin, accounts, payroll, sales, deliveries, and a large operational team. We've now got two long-standing operations managers for Northampton, Peterborough, and Leicester. Recently got a new operations manager that steps up to the role in Northampton. So we've got Sandra that looks after Leicester, Jill that looks after Northampton and mainly Peterborough, and Charlotte that's just stepping up to a Northampton role. And we've got a team of 15 supervisors that have worked for us for years and years, a lot of them. As we've expanded, obviously, we took new members of the team on. And we've got about 335 sites that we look after across the three areas, including Corby, Wellingborough, going out towards sort of Yaxley, Peterborough.
Wow.
Going right out that way. So, like I say, it keeps us very busy, and everyone does a really good job. And it's a challenging role, as you can imagine, working with a lot of people, looking after a lot of cleaners, but it's, they all do really, really well.
I bet it's a rewarding role though, as well, isn't it, Lee, to be honest?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Unfortunately, sort of from an operational point of view, really a lot of the conversations are negative because you're always dealing with the problem side of it. No, you don't get many customers that ring up and say, thanks for your great service last night, No,
of course, yeah.
But actually, what we've got in place and how we operate, we have do our own QC reports, and so we make sure we get constant feedback from the customers.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are, 95% of them are always really, really good, really positive, and it's great to see, great to hear that from the customers, and it's rewarding to all the staff to actually hear that.
Yeah, definitely. Well, what's the main part you enjoy about your role? Do you think it's the staff that you work with? Yeah,
definitely. I think it's changed a bit over the last 6 months, as you know, doing slightly different roles now. But the staff that we work with, we've got a really good team. Like I say, all from different levels. Some of the members of the team have been here a long, long time. Sandra's been with us for over 30 years. So what she doesn't know about ServiceMaster is not worth knowing. It's one of those. Jill says she's been with us since we started it and bought the Peterborough business. Going back over 8 years ago. So it's and everybody wants to achieve the same sort of thing, let's say. So even here in the office with the accounts admin, everybody wants to everyone enjoys working for the company, knows what we want to achieve, and we all work together. And it's always had that sort of family atmosphere as a business.
Yeah.
It's obviously it's more difficult to keep that as you get bigger and bigger, but it's always been important to us to try and keep that, and like I say, definitely. Some of the supervisors, if you look at the staff records, there's some supervisors who are with us for as long as I've been with the company, and it's great to have that continuity and consistency all the way through.
Oh yeah, I feel the same, to be honest, with ServiceMaster. It's always been kind of a family orientation, really, to be honest. But okay. What do you think the benefit of being part of a franchise is compared to being a business on your own?
I think what we've noticed and what we've seen is having the support that's there constantly, and that's something we've really appreciated since we've come in. Obviously, we're coming out the back end of a pandemic, and it was, we didn't really know this time last year, we didn't have a clue what was going on, did we really? So, but since we've come on board, we've certainly, with yourselves, the marketing side of things wasn't something that we particularly focused on in the past. So having that support from yourselves and Alan, Wendy, Ray, Vicky, anybody in the company that we can just turn to and ask the question.
Yeah. So
it's broadening our horizons really, and like I say, just using the tools that you've got that can help us, as well as
definitely
things that we can help yourself with. So it's all about working together, and I think it's been quite positive. It has been really positive for us since we've been on board. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, talking about COVID and lockdown, when we first went into lockdown, what were your thoughts on what would happen to the business then?
I was very concerned. Yeah, I remember sitting with Paul at the time, obviously when Paul owned the business, and we didn't really know which way to turn it. Obviously, every the phone was ringing off the hook. Every customer you felt like you'd spoken to was wanting to, they were shutting down or they were suspending service, and you're sort of scratching your head thinking, where do we go from here? What's going on? It's nothing you could prepare for. But I think it comes to a point where you just sort of pull your socks up and go, right, okay, we're just going to crack on with this. And it became very evident as we went through the year that it wasn't going to go away anytime soon, was it? So
no,
you've got to adapt to it and support your customers. And we had two approaches when initially was. We had one approach where we thought we could still invoice everybody and then maybe rebate them, which was met with a bit of trepidation by some customers, which was fair enough. So we made the long-term decision to actually say, if you need to close, we will suspend your service, with the hope of that when they will reopen, they will come back and stay with us for the long term. And that sort of paid off for us. And thankfully, we've got a lot of customers back on board now, and it's only a minimal amount that haven't returned yet, so hopefully they will do very soon.
Fantastic. Okay, all right, Lee. So did you offer any kind of different services and products during the whole pandemic?
It was obviously trying to understand what each client that did remain open needed. We've got a very good healthcare business, and quite a lot of proportion of our business is healthcare, so obviously that was stretched to the limit, as you can imagine. They certainly didn't close, so there's lots of additional service went in there. Lunchtime cleaning, additional sanitizing. We've also got some schools. When the schools came back on board, we had cleaners in all day. It's just
really
staggered. And a couple of them. And we also obviously we did promote ServiceMaster 6 as well as a product to use, because it's something obviously quite close to our hearts that we want to use. And that just did the job for us. And it's just reassuring the customers that this product's really good. It's what we need it for. This is what it does. And obviously, at the end of the day, it's all about having a relationship with your clients, and they trust you to do the job that you're there to do, and reassuring them, because they were panicking over everything really, and
of course,
wanted to make sure that we did what we said we would, really.
Yeah, definitely. Well, how do you think how have you managed to continue to provide that so an exceptional level of customer service throughout them?
To be totally honest with you, it all comes down to the team that's been working with. I mean, obviously, every person that's within the business has got their own roles to play, from accounts to payroll, admin, sales, like say delivering, and they've all had their own challenges to deal with that in and out of the office. I say, with working in the office, I had to work from home. It's been a challenge for everybody, but I've really got to take my hat off to the operations team who work out on site. They were over all areas. They were stretched to the limit, doing staff off isolation, having to cover cleans, trying to keep the business ticking over for the client, but also the amount of COVID related cleans that we had coming in, and it was all that was all new for us. Getting the guys getting suited and booted and going in to do COVID related cleaning. It was quite daunting at first, but again it became sort of the norm in some respects, and I like to say, so I really sort of take my hat off to those that they really rolled their sleeves up, got on with it. Like I say, it wasn't going away anywhere, so they just had to do it. So and it's a credit to them that we've come out of it in a very strong position, really.
Definitely. Was there any definitely. Was there any particular industries that kind of were hit worse than you did more COVID cleans, do you think, in what you have on the books?
I think it was mainly sort of the healthcare business, because that's what they were still going, really. Most of our office related cleaning and schools obviously closed down. So when the schools came back, we had a quite a flurry of doing COVID related cleaning through obviously cases that came in there. And certainly when the second wave came in, because there was that much testing being done, you could tell there was an uplift. And probably the first time around, we wouldn't have known if anybody had the virus. So, but certainly, like I say, the healthcare side of things, we did have lots of companies that we work for who have sub branches that we don't necessarily have businesses with, but obviously related to them, and they contacted us for pharmacies, for example, people coming in, repeated COVID cleans. So it was nurseries as well. So like I say, it was very, very busy time, very challenging time, but hopefully we're on the right side of it now.
Fingers crossed. Yes, we can start doing things and getting out and getting on with life.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, there we go. We shall see. All right, just tell us a bit more about your role, kind of a day in the life of Lee.
Blimey, rally. So it can vary. You know, I mean, it's anything that's going on. So for me, I'm obviously based now here at Tigers Road. So Joe coming in, so I'm normally here at hope to get it at 8:30, depending on the traffic getting in. We have our morning meeting, which we all contribute to, which is very good. And really, the day can be. You know, that's what I love about the role is there's no set pattern to the day. You know, there's no day the same. It sounds really negative to say you're looking at either problems or dealing with any issues, or my role is just to keep an overview, making sure now that we are functioning well as a business, and making sure that A, we're making money, B, we're limiting expenditure, and making sure that the team are happy and doing what we want to achieve, and obviously providing support to anybody that needs it as well. So there's no set pattern to a day for me, really. I think it's just take each day as it comes, and like you say, I've got certain things that I want to achieve to make sure that I'm still learning in my role, to make sure that I'm fulfilling the role that's expected of me, and like you say, and then with the support of the operations team and everyone that's in here, we all want to achieve the right things, really. So
yeah, no, of course. I mean, where do you see? No, sorry, I'll ask another question first. What percentage of businesses are back now? Is it nearing 100%, or have you got a few that's still off?
We're probably, I think last time I looked, and we've had a couple come back since last time I looked, so we're probably operating about 85% at the minute. Okay. So we have got some business that's still suspended. I've got a feeling some of that won't come back at all, to be honest with you. But we have got some that we have been in communication with, and we understand the reasons as to why they're not back yet, which is fair enough. They'll explain the situation. So we've got to make a decision in the next few weeks as to, we're going to have to approach the companies that haven't come back yet, and to understand what their plans are to going forward.
Right, yeah, makes sense. Fair enough. Okay. I mean, where do you see ServiceMaster Clean Leicester contract services in, let's say, 3 years? What's your goals?
The goals are to grow the business significantly. We've got, and I'll keep referring to the team, but we've got plan. We've got very good footies in place. The staff that we've got, we're quite open. We know what we want to achieve. We did very, very well as a business previously, but obviously now we've got new expectations with obviously the support of head office, but we like to work on our own. It's great to have that support. We've always worked on our own, so we want to achieve, doing it the way we have always done things, because it works. Not trying to say that we won't tweak things over the forthcoming years. If there's better systems in place than what we've used previously, then great. I know we're still learning off some of the things that we've been shown here. But like I say, for us, our target this year was to hit £3 million turnover. Yeah, it's still an optimistic target now, obviously, because half the year's nearly gone, and obviously COVID hit early in the year. But the whole the optimism coming out of a pandemic is that cleaning now is not. I used to feel like cleaning was a bit of an afterthought for a lot of businesses, and now obviously it's a primarily important thing for companies now, really, to make sure that their staff are safe and that their site's clean and their workforce is happy. So it's nice now to really feel like we've sort of gone up the ladder a bit, really. And with that, we've had quite a lot of new business over the last couple of months, lots of interest as well. So it's an exciting time, really, for us to grow quite significantly, and we want to keep that momentum going over the next few years.
Fantastic. Yeah, brilliant. So, Lee, how do you think a business like this should appeal to a potential franchisee, potential business owner?
Certainly like to think now, I think it's an appealing business prior to a COVID pandemic, but for somebody now looking at potentially getting involved in a cleaning business, I think it's certainly a very good time to do it. Like I say, I think it's, like I've already touched on there, I think it's certainly the words I think of now, but it's a better business to get into in terms of the appeal side of it, because of what's happened. It sounds wrong to say that, but I think I'd say cleaning is now it's further up the ladder than it has been previously, that's for sure. And what manager of an office now would come in and not think about the cleaning for their staff? So I think from our perspective, irrelevant of that is, it's a great business to be in. We've always had a structure where, we have a base plate and a standard that we want to work to all the time, and that's always worked for us. Any new members of staff coming in are always taught the basics, and that's what's been successful for us. And I think if you can just, be honest and build a team around it, and like I say, just go and sell yourselves as a business, as a service. Yeah. You don't need to, over exaggerate or tell fibs to sell a cleaning service. You just need to provide the service that that you say you do. And I think for any potential business, licensees that may want to come into the business, it's certainly a great time to do it. And if you've got the right people around you, like you say, it will, and the right support, there's no reason why it wouldn't work. And it's just all about, say, being honest with your clients. Sometimes acknowledging when you're wrong and mistakes are made, and just putting them right. And I'd say just working with that and working with consistency, and it'll if you have a standard that you constantly always work to and train to with all your staff, then it should work, and it's what's worked for us over the years. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, I think we'll leave it there, Lee. Thanks very much for joining me. Is there anything else you want to say or anything at all?
No. Thanks for your time. So yeah, and it's nice to get that across. Yeah.
No worries. Take care, Lee. Bye bye.
Thanks a lot, Tim.